Ten o'clock on a Monday. Good to see you. Thanks so much for finding me wherever you're tuning in, whether it's twitch.tv/StutterandCraig or youtube.com/@SideScrollers Podcast. Welcome. Good to see everybody. Hopefully you're having a great day. Hopefully it was not bad. Welcome out to our two brand new members. Before we got the stream started, give it up for Joel and Metal Mugen. Hey guys, thank you very much for your brand new membership. I was drinking a Diet Dr. Pepper. Had a late dinner tonight. But thank you very much, Metal Mugen and Joel. Welcome on out, man. Get a little sub train to get going. This is great to see you guys. Tattoo Games, what's going on? Hashi on Discord, good to see you. Marvin T, what's going on? Says, can't wait for the Chris Chan interview, Craig. Is it shocking that I have no idea who Chris Chan is? Like, legitimately, no idea who Chris Chan is. I saw something about, I have no idea. I'm not going down that rabbit hole tonight. I'm not doing it. No idea. Violent Noctis, good to see you. KB, what's going on? Juan says, what's going on? I see like, what? I'm not doing it. I'm not going down. I'm not doing it. CDI, welcome on out. Lost Boys, hello. This is better off not knowing. Yes. Okay. Ultimate Gamer, good to see you. Aiden is here. Dandy64, what's going on? Yeah. Welcome on out, everybody. Yes. Captain Philly, what's up with you? Doomzilla is here as well. Marvin C says, Chris Chan makes Phil look sane. Oh, no. Okay. Joe Dub says, don't go down the rabbit hole. KB says, Chris Chan is too much. I don't know. I legitimately don't know. You guys are telling me don't do it. I won't do it. Sounds good. Killa, what's going on? Carlos, good to see you. Mystic Namja, welcome on out. Bethesda Lord Love, what's going on? Good to see you. Aiden, what's up with you, buddy? How are you? John Cold Gold. What's up, John Cold? How are you? Oh, man. Yeah, we're going to have a good night, man. Yeah. Mystic Namja says, ignorance is bliss. I wish that was the case. But yeah, welcome on out, everybody. We're going to have a better day today than a lot of folks. A lot of better night tonight, at least. Today sucked. It really did. I wish I could tell you differently. Got done with side scrollers and the day just kind of went to shit after that. I wish I could tell you it was better than that, man, but it really was kind of shitty. So I'll fill you guys more in as the night goes on. But welcome on out, everybody, as the intro music is over now. Evan came in with the 12 months. Listen, 12 months of a membership over on YouTube. That's awesome, Evan. Thank you so much. It's been a year since I found you again, Craig, man, and it's been an amazing journey so far. So much happening in just 1 year and way worth the trip. Hey, appreciate that, Evan. Thank you so much for your long-time support. A year of fun. We got so much good stuff going on, man. Thank you very much, Evan. Toasted Mac with 100 bits says, dealing with the same muscle spasms, but happy to hang out with y'all. The Star Fox Sabotage 64 live stream was a big success, and I want to give it a shout out to Com for making it awesome. Listen, Com makes everything awesome. Com's a stud. Com is an absolute stud. Captain Philly came in with the 100 bits, says the G2 family cares, Craig. You need an ear to vent to? Hit me up. I understand. Captain Philly, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, we're going to talk a little about it here in a little bit. But yeah, Christian C says, check out the Geno Samuel. Check out Geno Samuel for Christery. Christian, I don't know if I should do that or not. Kellerama, welcome on out. But thank you so much, Christian. Appreciate that. Yeah, man, you tell me something I don't know. Com's a stud. Com is a stud. What an app. Just what a stud. Get some pilot wings going on. Let's go. Revolt says, was there a show yesterday? No, there was not a show yesterday. I got to be honest. I was exhausted after the weekend. I just needed a night. I needed a night because I knew that if I went hard last night, then I would not be able to have a good, successful week this week. So I needed to sacrifice for the team. Did not have a show last night. So I appreciate you guys understanding. Posted in Discord about an hour and a half before because I was, and by the way, like I was asleep by like 10. Like I was out. So yeah. Like it says, take care of yourself. Well, thanks, man. Appreciate that. The guy says, really, don't. The less you know about Christian, the better. Okay, good. Then I'll shut the wiki I was going to read. Gamer for Life says, are you ready for WrestleMania weekend? Is that this weekend? Are you serious? It's WrestleMania? WrestleMania's coming up? Do they have, I guess they had the Go Home Raw tonight, huh? I'm interested in the Sami Zayn thing. So it's Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, right? But it's like Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus the Usos, right, for the titles? Okay, let's see how that goes. Bloody says, your family and well-being comes first. Well, we understand. Well, thanks, Bloody. Appreciate that. So let's talk about today, man. Today was tough, and we're gonna do something tonight on the internet, which is we're gonna talk about today for about 5 minutes, and then we're just gonna like take a step away, and we're going to move on. Because I wish I could tell you that I know everything about the shit that happened today, but I'll say this: if anybody is a dad, if anybody is a parent, right? Today was a shitty day. Like, and you see that stuff, the stuff that happened in Tennessee, and this music is not helping, by the way. I just want to fully put this out. But anybody who saw what happened today, whether you're a parent or not, should be affected by this. We're going to you have people on both sides yelling, your side is bad. But we're going to do something and provide a little nuance today. Because it's not just, hey, that's bad. It's not just, hey, you're bad. And I just find it absolutely amazing that in a society that is built, that has such an amazing conversation, there's a conversation daily, and there's such an emphasis on mental health, and rightfully so, that with such an emphasis on mental health, we are ignoring some of the sickest people in the world. We are ignoring a mental health crisis that is right in front of us. There's a tremendous mental health problem in America. And yes, it spatters across the world. And it starts with what you see on social media. I am a big believer that social media is a big reason for that. Look, people say, you need to get rid of all the guns, right? People say, this person was sick. Guess what? It's both. It's both. There can be nuance, right? It's both. Sorry, it's both of them. Lost Boy says, I feel like everyone talks a big game when it comes to mental health. Yeah, there's a lot of like, hey, we should do this for mental health awareness month. Then why don't you fucking do something about it, right? Why don't, like, I was talking about this on Side Scrollers the other day. Actually, I was actually talking about it during a pre-show. Maybe it was post-show, but I was talking to him. I was like, I think that there was a major moment in our society change was when we removed the quote unquote loony bins, right? When the idea that people that they're, when there's people who truly need mental help, and we just feel the need to shove drugs down their throats. And who benefits from that? It's not the people who need the help. It's people making the drugs. It's the politicians pushing the drugs, getting kickbacks from the drugs. And what it doesn't make anything better to heal anybody. Why? The drug companies lose out. It's business to them. It's insane, man. It's insane. That's right. You're right. Big Pharma wins. It's amazing to see when something like today happens, which happens way too often. I think we all can agree on that, right? Happens way too often. I'll say this. I feel like I'm in a kind of a unique situation, man. Unique situation to talk about this, because I spent a year in the gun industry. What am I doing? What am I doing in this industry? I have kids that are in elementary school, and it weighed on me tremendously. And what I realized while I was in this industry was that, and I very much believe this. I very much believe this. The vast majority of gun owners are responsible. I say the vast majority of gun owners are very responsible. Now, there are idiots who treat them like toys, but the entire, like literally the entire purpose of the company that I worked for was to teach people safety, was to teach people how to use their gun safely. But the people who do these things are not people, like, these are people who are mentally not all there. They reached a point in their life where they're broken. They're broken. And that's the reality of it, man. And it's tough. These people are broken. And I very much believe that these people who carry out and do these heinous, ridiculous things would do it whether it was a gun or a machete or a knife or a baseball bat or a mace or nunchucks or throwing. Pick any weapon you want. They just want to induce harm. They just want to induce harm. So with that said, that's all we're going to talk about today, because it fucking sucked. It sucked as being a dad, and I'm not gonna preach. I'm just gonna tell you how I felt about things today. It fucking sucked. It sucks seeing a picture of a little girl who my daughter not that long ago was her age, and I can't think of how my life would be ripped apart if she was taken away from me. Bloody, thank you so much for coming in and being a brand new member. Appreciate that, Bloody. It's awesome. Raynox says, Band-Aid solutions are the results of what's happening today. Politicians, leaders, and bad parenting are the main issue. Yeah, man. I will say this, man. There's so many parents who want to be their kids' friends, and they're so stupid. You cannot be your kid's friend. You can't be. Your job is to be their parent. You can have a good relationship with your kid, but that doesn't mean you need to be their friend. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Rich says, Craig is right. Knives are illegal in the UK, and they still have tariffs, the vehicles, and other methods. Right. Right. Thank you, Rich. Appreciate that. I don't know, man. It's. I know this is not an easy topic to talk about, and it's something that, like, but I'm gonna talk about this shit. It's my channel, and I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. Like, this stuff affects me, and I feel like I need to talk about it. So I want to be really clear. I could care less if it's a white guy, trans woman, black guy, Mexican woman. I don't care. I don't care. These people doing these things, regardless of however they identify, whatever their color, they're messed up. And I don't think that there's a secret formula attached to this outside of, if you look at the ease of information, the social media aspect of things, how easy it is to get a hold of, and it just morph your brain at a young age, man. Golly. It's crazy. It says, I've said it before and I'll say it again, stop blaming the guns, blame the people with bad motives. People are people are just looking for the way to make the most, hurt the most people as quickly and as efficiently as possible, man. Garth Roberts says, this music isn't helping. I know. The deputy says, the Mario music is actually hilarious. I know. I got Mario music playing in the background while talking about this. Explosive Werewolf says, Craig, I like how you came back from Screw Attack and are doing what you do best. Well, thanks, man. Appreciate that. Mbear86 says, we need to outlaw the AR-15. What is an AR-15? What I found is that when you ask people about, when they say you need to outlaw this, whatever it is, whether it's a gun, whether it's pixie sticks, you ask them what they want to outlaw, and they have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. No idea what the fuck they're talking about. So, and no, we don't. No, we don't. I'm a strong believer in the Second Amendment. Strong believer in the Second Amendment. And I believe that the reason why you have AR-15s is the same reason you had guns in the 1700s, is to protect yourself. And whether that's from guns or Uncle Sam, you need to protect yourself. So, but that's just me. But while we're at it, we should also ban cars and sugar, because God knows sugar causes obesity, and obesity is a big killer in the United States. Causes cancer, right? Ban sugar while we're at it. Ban caffeine What do you think about banning caffeine? Should we ban caffeine and sugar? Cars? Knives? Toothpicks? Let's go down the list. Let's just do it, man. Let's just ban it all. While we're at it, how about we all just hang out and we all live in our own little areas? And while we're at it, let's just let the government just hand us everything while we're there. And we'll eat it and we'll like it. It'll be good. Isaiah says, bad day for Sonics fans. Chris Chan is out on bond. Like I said, I don't even know who Chris Chan is. I saw that, but yeah. Samuel the Geek says, I think the algorithm unintentionally make people fall into rabbit holes of the worst possible thoughts. We need to provide people with community, meeting, and help. I agree. I 100% agree. I 100% agree. And you know, that's why when I do streams like this, I know that it's not like fun to talk about these things, but I know this. You guys are thinking the exact same fucking thing. And if you're not, I love to hear you, like legitimately. Laguma says those things have purposes, though. Do they? Purpose of what? Fit into to a societal norm? You know? Do we need sugar? No, we don't need sugar. We can live off fruits, vegetables, cows, meat. We don't need sugar. Don't need it. You don't need caffeine. It's a luxury. It's a luxury. All those things are luxuries. Lived on it before. So Eden with 245 bits says, here's some bits. Thank you. Yeah, Tiff says, do we need social media? No, we don't. We don't. Bloody came in with 279 and Super Chat says, then you get Demolition Man. That's right. Then you get, there you go. Then you get Demolition Man. Oh, man. Aiden says, people need to know that AR-15 means Armalite 15. It's not used by the military. The rifle is a civilian version of the M16. Get educated with American gun laws instead of assuming things and stop using emotions. Use logic. Right. Yeah, you know, like, what do we really need? Like, really, when you break it down. Like, there's a lot of people living with there's a lot of people in the world living with a lot less, you know. And we live in these like wonderful apartments and homes with lights that turn on when we flip a switch and cold air that comes through these magical vents. It's amazing. Like, people don't realize how ridiculously fucking lucky we are to live where we live, at least where I live, you know, the United States, particularly Texas, man. Rich says, Koberger didn't need a gun. I don't know who Koberger is. Sorry, Rich. Yeah, running water? Right. Like, wow. We don't have to go down to the well in the center of the village and dump a bucket in there and hopefully it's not just disgusting water. Like, good Lord, man. Kiwi Havoc says, life got so easy that most of the things are not necessary. Yeah. And life got so easy. Life got so ridiculously easy. We needed to start making problems for ourselves. And that's what we've done. That's what we've done. Dave says, with a $5 super chat says, I'm genuinely curious, when presented with the stats of school shootings in countries where they're banned or not, what is the counter argument? I honestly think it's built around. Look, I'm not going to tell you guns don't play a part in it, right? I think that's ignorant to say that, like, yes, access to gun plays a part of it, right? But I think more than anything, it's a state on the American state on mental health. I very much believe that. Very much believe that. I think that the American way of life is so bloated and so ridiculously easy. That you go down these ridiculously easy rabbit holes, and you are, as was stated earlier, you go down these rabbit holes whether the algorithm sends you down, and all of a sudden you're an extremist or whatever. It's crazy. J Rome with 10 gifted subs. 10 gifted subs over on Twitch. J Rome, thank you very much, buddy. Appreciate that, man. If you guys got gifted a sub from J Rome, make sure you guys say thank you. J Rome, you're my boy. You know that. You know that. Prima2 came in with the $20 super chat. Thank you so much. That's incredibly generous. That's awesome. It says, tornadoes ripped through my area Friday night. Oh, man. I saw footage of that. That's crazy. And twice since then, my family has had to use guns to ward off looters. No one in my family will question 2A again. If the military has it, I can have it. That's what 2A means. Prima 2, congratulations on protecting you and your property. Like, people, like, I think that's the thing, is you see something like today, and then people overly react, and they don't think about the actual uses of the, like, real life uses of these things. And that's a real life use, you know? And yeah, it's it's funny because I would argue, and I think you very much can make the argument, that that use of protecting your property from looters, from rioters, after a natural disaster, is far more common than the things you saw today, which, once again, none of it's good, you know? But I'm glad you're able to do that, man. And Prima 2, did you or your family have any doubts about the Second Amendment prior to everything that's happened to you? And I'm sorry about what's happened with your situation there. Those tornadoes were horrible, and it's tough. When you see just sidebirding on the tornado side of things, when you see the aftermath of a tornado, and I've said this before, but it's hard to put in perspective that there were houses there before. Like, that hit me a few years ago when I was looking at this place. Like, I was looking at this tornado wreckage, and I was like, how come they're always out in the middle of nowhere? And then you realize they're out in the middle of nowhere because all the houses have been ripped up. That's why. There was things there before. It's crazy, man. Crazy. Travis says, there's no civilian version of a gun made to kill people. Not hunt or protect yourself, made for war. We as a country have to decide if we want to allow someone to be able to kill 100 people in 4 minutes every other day, to keep our AKs. F and Dave came in with a $5 super chat. Says, brother, we glorify mental illness here. That is the problem, not the Second Amendment. I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you. We see people glorified every day. People bow down to every day, who are just sick. Self-admittedly sick. Crazy. Give it up for Dutch Wizard, who came in with the super chat. For coming in for the first time, Dutch Wizard, thank you very much. Genuinely appreciate it. It says, celebrate the first super chat from Ditch. I said Dutch. From Ditch Wizard. Ditch Wizard, thank you very much. That's awesome. Mike says, I think the problem is that society has been trying to normalize a lot of crazy people as being normal when they're simply not. You see it every day. Another factor is the large dependency on medication prescribed by doctors to suppress mental issues instead of actually trying to help them. Yes. Yes. Look at Lonely Goodness says, I very much... he says, to be honest, I very much disagree with the points being made here, but just watching to see their point of view. Only good, but I appreciate that. I genuinely do. Genuinely do. Like I love to hear everybody's perspective. Like, if you don't agree, awesome. Tell me. I would love to hear about it, for sure. I mean, and I mean that legitimately. Aiden says, I want to say this. I don't like it when people who don't live here in America and criticize our gun laws and hate it when we own guns legally. They need to be quiet, get educated, and understand our laws. At the end of the day, let Americans be America, let Japan be Japan, let Kenya be Kenya, let France be France, etc. Deal with it. Mind your business. Crazy D says, I worry for the safety of my nieces and nephew at school every single day. No telling what can happen. Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's insane. It really is. And said, I really do feel it comes down, it's a mental health issue. I very much do. It's mentally ill people that have access to tools that can cause mass destruction. It's a very simple formula. Like, if you think about it, it's like at its most basic bitch formula, it's people who are not well mentally with access to tools that can hurt a lot of people. That's it.
Triple combo.
It is not that hard, you know. Stone Cold's Beer Cooler says the quote "just do something" crowds are the worst. That's not how things work. No, it's not. Birdman says recently a patron after the DSP interview. Side Scrollers now my morning podcast to keep up the great work, and don't forget to beat your demons. Hey Birdman, thank you very much. Greatly appreciate that $5 super chat. That's outstanding. Thank you. And welcome to the club. Rich says, Koberger killed those students in Idaho with a knife. Got to ban those too. Right. Look, I'm not going to tell you and be like, yeah, man, there are politicians who aren't tied by their nutsacks to the gun lobbyist, the NRA and such. Like, it's crazy. Like, that's insane. But there's also lobbyists that are tied to pick any issue in America. You know, there's lobbyists tied to the meat industry, or there's politicians tied to the meat industry, to the electric car industry, to big tech, to like pick anything, and they're tied to it, you know? And this, like, I'm sure someone's going to take this way out of context. But once again, I go back. I think social media is causing way more harm. Like, I think you'll find... Now, I'm not going to say social media has never saved a life, because I do think social media has saved lives. But I think that social media is doing way more harm in the grand scheme of things. I think Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. God, TikTok. God. It's crazy, man. Crazy. Travis came in with 100 bits. Says if we had 100 shootings in the first 64 days of 2023. Oh, it says we have had 100 shootings in the first 64 days of 2023. I think people live in fear way too much. They fear everything so much they need to live in a bunker underground in a tank. What if I fear the government because they have nukes? Do I have the right to build my own? This is what we need to decide as a country. Well, I don't think anyone's saying you can like have a nuke, but I don't know. But I would also like to see those stats, Travis. Like, where did those 100 take place in the first 64 days? When you say like a mass shooting, right? There's shootings every night in every major city. Look at Chicago. Don't look at Chicago. It's crazy. Left Cross says, yes, you should be able to have nukes. Why not? Oh, man. Well, I'll tell you what, man. Just, like I said, Chicago is just, it's warfare, man. And then you look at, yeah, Kaiser says, yeah, if I live in Chicago, man. Then you look at, like, what's happening, like, in all these big cities. New York, San Francisco. I have friends in San Francisco who literally are scared to go outside because they're either going to step on a needle with their kid, they're going to step in literally human shit, or they're going to get mugged. That's in the third largest city in the United States. And it's not much better in New York. Crime is sky high. Then you go to look at Chicago. What the fuck is happening in Chicago? It's crazy. Well, the Gooba says, yep, this isn't a good pro-gun argument. That there's and once again, I'm not saying like I'm pro-gun at all. I think that I'm pro-Second Amendment, very much pro-Second Amendment. And I think that, but I'll tell you this, man, if I go to San Francisco, if I go to New York and I go to Chicago and I have the ability to, I will be packing, man. Absolutely. 100%. Disco Heat says, come to Mexico. I hear more guns being let off than fireworks on New Year's Eve. Disco Heat, hey, good question. Hey, what does it look like in Mexico? What are the gun fatalities in Mexico compared to the United States? That's actually an interesting question, man. Interesting question. Rodrigo came in with the 550 super chat. Says, I was a teen when I watched Screw Attack. Now I have a face full of beard and bald spots. Craig, why do you look the same? Share your secrets, please. I put my hat on forward and I got a goatee. There you go. Hey, Rodrigo, thanks so much for growing up with me, man. Hold on, let's see. I'm curious. Gun fatalities per year, U.S. versus Mexico. I'm just curious. Just curious. I've never seen this before. Huh. Look at this shit. This is kind of interesting. This is from this website, World Population Review. I've never seen this before. Disco Heat says, speaking of Mexico, he says, everybody has guns, but nothing really happens unless you get involved with the wrong people. As an Australian living here, I feel pretty safe. Right. And Aaron with the $5 super chat says, an armed society is a polite society. Jay says, oh, I think you already know the answer to that, Craig. To that Google, Craig. Actually, I don't. And I'm looking at it right here. Brazil with the most total gun deaths. This is in 2019. Danger. Thank you, KI guy. United States behind Venezuela. So, yeah, interesting. So, South America. Well, actually, North America, South America. South America. Yeah. Interesting, man. Brazil, of all things. Watch out for Dan Basque down there. I'm intrigued what that looks like per capita. Based off population. That's pretty fascinating, man. Trevor says you need to keep in mind that most of those places are where armies kill people, not first world countries. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know the details of these right here. So worldwide, there was 250,000 people who died. That was in 2019. So I don't know. Interesting stuff. GK says an overwhelming majority of gun violence happens in cities where some of the strictest gun laws. Meanwhile, rural America is safe as Switzerland. Trevor says I'm not against the Second Amendment. I just think we need a bit more reasonable. Need to be a bit more reasonable about how fearful we all are, and how we let that control our lives. What the real cost of that is. We need to ban the guns that have no places, as they are only to kill people at war, machines of war. You know what? I disagree with you, Trev. I disagree with you. I very much do. I think that I think you start taking away weapons from people, that ultimately you're no better than Australia. And then you get locked in a bubble and you can't leave your house and nobody can do shit to you. Or and anybody can do shit to you. That's just my thoughts. But that's just a theory. Aiden says, other factors that I can add is not just mental health issues. Add drug violence, gang violence, fatherless behaviors are all other reasons that brought problems to America. Aiden, preach, man. Preach. God. Disco Heat says, that's why I left Australia. I was in lockdown for 2 years and moved to Mexico. Good for you, Disco Heat, man. I can't understand how anybody lived there, man. That was crazy. Mike says, most ironic part is that New York City and Chicago have the strictest gun laws in the country, yet have so much gun violence. Go figure. Laws are only obeyed by law-abiding citizens. Truth. Toastamax says, I hope you don't mind me asking, but how do you deal with your kids with social media? I don't. They don't do social media. They don't have phones. They don't do social media. They will not do social media. Social media has become a double-edged sword. It brings people together and also has all sorts of terrible stuff online. How do you deal with this? Don't give them access. It's a piece of shit. I've grown up and seen social media. I've been an adult the entire time. I can't imagine. I cannot even fathom being a teenager and dealing with social media. The absolute shit show that is social media. Having to compare yourself every day to everything else and showing everybody how great everyone else's life is when it's really just a split second of their life. It's ridiculous. Travis says, then why can I not own a grenade? Because somewhere along the lines, some bureaucrat said, you're not responsible enough to own a grenade. That's why. Because some politician said you can't own it. That's the only reason why. Right? But I'll tell you what, I know people with grenades. Dead DiBiase says gun deaths are not even in the top 10 causes of death in the United States in 2022. Interesting, Dead DiBiase. Interesting. Aaron says it's important to know, but it's like Travis. The same thing. It's like, why can't I not own a grenade? Why can I not have crack? There's plenty of people who have crack every day, or cocaine, or whatever. Pick your drug of choice. You're not supposed to have it, but they do. Why can people not drink under the age of 21? Tons of kids get drunk every day under the age of 21. You know, it's like just kind of the way it is. So, Clown Circus Gaming says because it worked out well for Waco. Aaron says it's important to know that at the time of drafting the Constitution, that private citizens had fully armed warships with cannons. I didn't know that. Max says, can you explain what you mean when you said you're pro-Second Amendment but not pro-guns? It's not that I'm not pro-gun. I would say that I'm not like... I'll say this. I think there's a couple different types of gun owners. And once again, being in the space, I've seen them, right? When I worked for this company called Prairie Fire, and I don't even know if Prairie Fire exists anymore. It was a startup, and I think Prairie Fire now it's turned into like this gun range out in Nevada, right? But the original idea, and guys, thank you so much for the support tonight. I appreciate that. I've seen people who, the original idea of Prairie Fire was to create a social media platform that was built around people's life with guns. Right? And let me be clear when I say it. It wasn't my life with guns. It was my life with guns. Right? And I think those are two very different things. Right? There's people whose life revolved around guns. And there's people who have guns that they use to protect their lives. The same way that there's people who identify themselves a certain way and their life revolves around that. Right? I think we can all agree that a lot of people who are like, my life with guns, are overbearing and annoying, right? The same way that people who identify as a fish want to tell you about it immediately, all the time. You know what I mean? So like, they're all annoying. You know what I mean? And I think that's what I mean. That's what I mean. So great tune. Eden with 100 bits says, technically all firearms are weapons of war. Look at my favorite handgun, the 1911. It's had over a century in service, while other guns never seen military trials. You're 100% right. Like, isn't a bow and arrow a weapon of war? Not a modern war, but it was. You know? So were sticks. So were clubs. Rocks. Almond John came in with a $5 super chat. Says, can't wait to see you and Nick Recato do a show together. I think you and him would get along just fine. I never met Nick before. I'd be interested in talking to them for sure. Absolutely. Midnight Lobster came in with 100. Came in as a brand new member. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. That's awesome. And once again, I appreciate the conversation. I legitimately do. I think this is a really, really interesting conversation to have. Travis says, I believe drugs should be legal as long as you're not hurting other people in using it. That's the thing. With those weapons, their only point is to kill people. Travis, you're really minimizing what those weapons do, man. They're not only used to kill people, and there are millions of other guns to choose from that are not made to be use of war, only to kill people. But don't drugs like cocaine kill people? In meth kill people? I mean, surely you should be able to use them if you want, but when they start killing people, you should ban them, right? Right? Because they kill people, you know? So, Nick Earl says, they're for protection if used correctly. That's right. F and Dave says their point is to protect you. Right. That's the big thing. It's you carry, you know, what's the old FDR saying? Carry a big stick, right? Carry a big stick. That's what it is. You're carrying a big stick. Rich says, if all guns were banned, would that stop criminals from getting guns? Fentanyl is banned / illegal. Did it work? Or is fentanyl deaths higher than ever? Yes, Rich. Absolutely. Metastep says we don't need protection. Oh, okay. Are we just gonna wait for the government to swoop in and tell us everything's all right? Because that's worked out really well the last few years. We're on the edge of nuclear war right now, but you know, it's okay. The government knows best. No way. Come on. What are we doing? Oh, Ethan says that's Teddy Roosevelt. Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Appreciate that. KB says, America is a gilded cage. The more rights that are taken away, the more bars are put up in the cage. Many fool themselves into thinking they are somehow safer. Right. 100%. I definitely agree with you. Polster Pupper came in with the $5 super chat. The sad thing for me is that most of my colleagues have never handled a firearm. Education in gun safety is vital in demystifying guns for some people. I'll say this, man. I will say this. And many people who want to ban guns have never handled a gun. I think they're... And I know that's a very blanket statement, but I do feel that's the case. Guns are extremely intimidating if you've never handled one before. And even when you do handle them, they're still very intimidating. Yes, they can kill you, 100%. Once again, I think there's a time and place. I think a gun is like a hammer. I think it's a tool. That's my personal belief, right? Once again, I'm talking, like Travis is that's what I love about this. Travis and I, we work together on a day-to-day basis. We don't agree on this. I love it. I think that's awesome. But we can have that conversation. We can have that back and forth. I love it. So, yeah, I mean, I think that training 100% needs to be mandatory. Like, it is very hard. Like, if you're handling a gun and you never handled a gun, you could very quickly end up with a hole in your body, right? Because there's a lot of things you need to know. When you hold a gun, you don't hold a gun with your hand on the trigger. You hold it. You got your finger out. These are things you've got to learn. You got to be taught. And these seem like common sense, but people don't know these things, right? It's fun to watch movies and you see the way people run down the street with their hand on their on their pistol, right? They got their on their trigger when there's no way in hell that would actually happen. You hold it with it's crazy. Gun safety is insane. It's got to be taught. It's got to be mandatory, man. Dead TBiasis with 100 bits says drug-related deaths amassed over 100,000 in 2022. Gun-related deaths only around 40K. One is too many, but either way. Mystic Nam says bad trigger discipline. Just out of curiosity, I'm going to ask the YouTube chat this. And I'm just curious. Have you fired a gun? Yes or no? I'm going to ask the YouTube chat because I'm genuinely curious. I don't know. I'm always interested to learn more about you guys. Ditch Wizard, thank you again for the $1 super chat. Metastep says, I mean, we don't need the government to protect us. Yes, Metastep, I 100% agree. Aaron says, if we ban guns, shouldn't we ban cars since they kill more people in the U.S. every year? Trevor says, my moral line is allowing civilians to pick up to use a weapon of war, not a gun for protection or hunting. A weapon of war. Yes, but Travis, what is a weapon of war? Right? What does that mean? You know? Is a pistol a weapon of war? Like, and who defines that? The government? You know, and I don't know. Right now it's 73%. Interesting, with 150 votes. Okay. Interesting. So like almost three out of four of y'all have shotguns. Huh. Yeah. Like, and once again, do you ban all the things that are not safe? And who's to decide what's safe? What's the cutoff? I mean, you see this, like the slippery slope we're talking about here, right? Like, people go, well, if only one person dies from it, it's too many. Well, if 10,000 people die from this, then we'll consider banning it, right? And once again, when it's banned, it just becomes more valuable. Right? Land of the Lost says, today might suck, bro, but at least you won't. Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Appreciate that. Mike says, what people forget is how many times guns have saved people / stopped bad people, but you'll never hear about that due to the obnoxious agendas with the media. As we all know, they only care about the gun stories where it leads to bleeding. If it bleeds, it leads, as you say. That's true. That's right. Christopher says, I miss Why Today Sucks. Also, you packing, Craig? Craig? I prefer to keep that between me and myself and my family. Quizit says, was on the high school marksman team, but we use pellets. Right. Yeah. FM Doff says, the fact that this chat has already picked a side just shows you this actual discussion doesn't solve anything. Well, we're not looking to solve anything, FM Doff. We're just looking to have a discussion. But I would say that, you know, the majority of the audience has on YouTube has fired a gun, which is, you know, it's like 70 to 30, 71 to 30% right now. But that doesn't necessarily mean that we can't have a good discussion about it, right? Like I told you, I think this is a nuanced conversation. This is not a all guns are a bad thing, right? Just like it's not like an all cops are a bad thing. Like, people who say that are just fucking imbeciles, right? There's gray area to this. There's gray, you know? It's like me going, all white people are bad. Like, shut the fuck up. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life, you know? Like, switch that with any race, religion, creed, sexual orientation, animal. Stupid. All dogs are bad. Shut the fuck up, you know? Aaron came in with a $10 super chat. Says, to quote Thomas Jefferson, the tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of tyrants and patriots, and therefore we must be armed enough to deal with the tyrants if they do rise up. Evan Doss says, that's my point, Craig. Everyone already has a side, so discussing it and being reasonable is pointless. I'll decide who's reasonable here, FM Doff. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. Aiden says, got how, guys? I got 2 interviews tomorrow for my externship. Have a squeaking night out loud. Aiden, thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. Metastep says, we should ban cars, sugar, corn syrup, aspartame. That's right. Ban it all. Ban it all. So I take a sip of my diet, Dr. Pepper. Yeah, look, look, we all understand this is a messy conversation, right? We all get it. And it's not, yeah, Harry Otter Gaming says, ban YouTube. Right. Hey, what else should we ban? What else has caused harm that we should ban today, right now? Just put it in the chat. What should we ban? What should we ban? Ban it all. Ban everything. Everything. What else should we ban? Just put it in the chat. School, the man, air. I see all good stuff. Legos, salt. Ooh, man, salt. Video games, oxygen. Jimmy Fallon. God, he's caused damage. All those late night folks have got hammers. Yes, ban hammers. Gorilla Glue, sports. Okay, now you're getting silly. Ridiculous. Alcohol, right? And what happened when we banned alcohol? Just made it more desirable. Like, and you know that's exactly what would happen. Like, that's exactly what would happen. If you ban guns, it's going to be prohibition all over again. And they're like, well, that was a horrible idea, you know? Almond John says, I'm 34 years old. Some guys that work here in their 40s said they had classes in high school that taught them gun safety. Unlike now, you learn nothing useful in 6th through 12th. Man. God. Yeah, you know, I'll say this, man. There's definitely something to the loss of the lack of education in basic life skills. There's Emma Johnson says we should ban pedos. I don't disagree with you. I think that's 100% accurate. I think that we should chop off their nuts and send them in a vacuum and send them to Africa. God. That's a Side Scrollers reference. God. I got no time for that bullshit. Okay, so let's finish up our poll here. 70% of you have shot a gun. That's interesting. Interesting. I honestly, that's way more than I thought it would be. Man, Lethic came in with a big one. Ban career politicians. Set term limits. You know what? It's not the politicians. It's the people who work. It's not just the politicians. It's the people who work in between, that are there between the politicians, who keep the same bullshit going. It's the people who help the politicians get going. When the new politicians come in, it's people who have been there for 30, 40, 50 years in between all the new politicians. It's crazy. But yes, I 100% agree with you. Banning term limits, banning career politicians. God. It's just crazy. It's crazy. Ban lobbyists. Yes. Oh my God. It's weird, man. It's weird. We live in a everything is so great in our country right now. Everything is awesome. Like, it's the best. The best economy and the best crime rates and the best number of people crossing the border. And don't tell me that's bullshit, because I see it every fucking day. Hi, I live in Texas. Oh my God. Everything's the best right now. It's so good. So good. Everything's the best. I love it. Demonic says, weak men make hard times. That is what they say. That's what they say. I don't know, man. Yeah. Whoopi says, the world's in great shape. Great shape. Great shape. This one JP guy says, I live in Texas, says the man in the Utah hat. That's true. My Texas hat doesn't fit as well as my Utah hat. Oh my God. Oh my God. You know, when we look back on this time period in American history, I hope to God we look back on it and realize it was just a giant fucking speed bump. It's crazy, man. I hope we look back and be like, we were so, like, the country was in such bad shape, but we made it. I mean, it's in such good shape, but we made it through how good shape it was in. Everything was awesome. It was the best. It's the best. Man. Bane Zero says, this is the darkest timeline. Oh, Testamax says, I hope we all live through it. I hope we live through this all sadly. Oh, man. Discovering this is 3 years ago we were locked down. And don't ever fucking forget it. Don't ever forget that shit. Don't ever forget them making you stay at home after grandma died and having to go to her funeral via fucking Zoom. What a joke. God. Oh my God. If you're one of those people who's... okay, I'm going to bite my tongue there. I'm going to bite my fucking tongue. Day Adams says, I'm not much of a fan of the band such and such 2 approach. When these things happen, I feel like it's mocking a tragedy. Kids are being buried. I 100% agree. I agree with you. I agree with you. Oh, okay. You're saying that we should not be having that conversation, Day, and that it's mocking a tragedy. I think I think what it's not mocking a tragedy, Day. I'm sorry, I misunderstood what you're saying. I had to reread that. I don't think it's mocking a tragedy. I think it's mocking the overreaction to the tragedy. At all. I think the people who are saying that, the vast majority of people who are saying that, like me, who think that's just the dumbest argument ever. Well, this needs to be banned because this happened. Like, look at it in the most heartfelt way possible. Like, I look at a picture of the little girl, the daughter of the preacher who died today, and I see my daughter. And like I said, if you don't have a kid, you don't understand. You don't. You have no fucking idea. Because I think any parent can look at that and be like, their life would be over. It'd be the worst. It's absolutely heartbreaking. Tree Kale Blunt says, Craig, I'm going to cry if this race war comes and I got to put you down.
Headshot.
Oh, a headshot? What is that? Where did that come from? Oddly enough, that's weird. Was there some sort of headshot? Was that a previous donation amount that I did? Either way. I'm gonna cry if the race war comes down and I gotta put you down. So weird to have been a kid watching Screw Attack and see you back now. Godspeed. Tree Kale Blunt, listen, you son of a bitch. If the race war happens, you know what I'm gonna do to you? I'm gonna run up to you. I'm gonna go, and give you a big old hug as you promptly stab me 8 times in my liver. Oh, man. Matthew Halbrook says, if we outlaw guns, only outlaws will own the guns. Matthew, thank you so much for your first ever super chat. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. And very true. That is true. Gina says, hug him to death, Craig. That's right. Oh, my God. That's freaking funny. Mike says, to be fair, it doesn't have to be just parents, Craig. My wife works in education, has to visit schools in her district where there have been known high violence. It can happen. I think anyone can relate. Just my 2 cents. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. If you don't like, yeah. If you have a significant other who works in the school system, works at schools, my God, yeah, 100%. 100%. I legitimately have no idea. Oh, is the KO thing a 550 was at 5:50. I bet that's what it was. It was a 5:50 alert. We had like a knockout thing a while back. This is months ago. I guess I probably should have removed that. Oh my God. Partner says, stop killing my family with kindness. Kidbook says, yes, more hugs, less guns. How about we just have equal hugs? Anyways. The whole thing's bad. It's crazy. Now, as Neo Praetorian says, 3D printing exists. Banning guns is completely pointless now. If someone wants to get one, they can get one. 100%. Oh my God. Yes, it's out of there, baby. Like, ban whatever you want. Someone's just gonna make it. Whatever you want. It's crazy. It's crazy. What a good tune. Hey, while I got you guys, just a quick reminder. If you guys do want to get your questions in for James Rolfe, the angry video game nerd, like today's like the last day you can do it. So if you guys are not patrons, consider becoming a patron. Like tonight, like right now, over at patreon.com/sidescrollers. There, if you scroll down after you become a patron, there's an area where you can put a link to a YouTube video where you can ask James a video. So like get out your phone and be like, hey James, I was just curious what you thought about Ninja Turtles, the arcade game. And there's a very, 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 very good chance that I will put that in the interview for James. I'm going to have an entire section of just community questions for James, things that you guys have always wanted to know, and I'll have him answer them. So do that. It's over on Patreon. So Hayden says, I was a step-parent for 5 years, age 1 to 6. I know it's not really the same, but it destroyed me when I split with my ex. The worst part was losing the little girl I raised. I think I kind of get it. Hayden, that's tough, man. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry, Hayden. I'm sorry. That sounds horrendous, and I can only imagine how much that hurt. Jason says, also, while you're there, fill out the Side Scrollers Feud. That's right. It's also there if you're a patron. If we can get a couple more folks to fill that out, that'd be great. The Side Scrollers Feud questionnaire. You go on there, and we're going to do a game show out of that really soon. So Jason's been handling that. So, it's crazy, man. Shit. Anyways, all right. Beavis says, can you ask AVGN about his business expenses? No. You know what? I've been noticing something really quick. Like, a lot of people have been pointing out things, saying like we've been making subtle jabs at like DSP. Like I looked at the title today, and apparently that's like a thing. Like it wasn't my fault. It's never my like. That was totally not intentional, by the way. Like I think people are kind of reaching at some things. They're like, oh yeah, that's a jab. It's not a jab. Not a jab at all. Just I don't know. I'm gonna pull this tune down a little bit there. It's pretty hot. Pretty hot. Kinfolk says, do you plan on getting Wings of Redemption on? Not right now. Not right now. But in time. I'm sure we'll do something. So we'll figure it out. So Samuel the Geek says, Craig ain't subtle about his jabs. I do my best to be subtle about all the fun that I have. Hayden says, it was 5 years ago. I do wonder how she's doing, but better for me not to be involved. Anyways, did you see the new Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Netflix movie trailer? I think the kid in me is going to force me to watch it. Hayden, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Hayden, thank you very much. I cannot tell you how much those super chats mean to me. Like, thank you so much. You are supporting me. You're supporting Side Scrollers. Like that is massive, and I really appreciate that. Yes, actually, we did a reaction to it the day that it dropped here on stream, and I promptly was flagged for copyright for showing it. So my thoughts were, it's very, very cool. It looks like it's like a fan movie. Kind of has that, like kind of that campy quality to it, which I appreciate because it kind of matches the show. So yeah, I'm intrigued. I was not a huge Power Rangers fan growing up, but it's always interesting to kind of see the fan service for folks for sure. Thank you, Hayden. Appreciate that. And I'm sorry to hear about your separation from your stepdaughter. That sucks, man. KB says, DSP says you're milking his detractors, and we are stupid if we give you money. Okay. That's crazy. Mike has bad knees. Says, I don't get copyright strikes on trailers. Isn't that the point of the getting the word out? Yes. You would think so, right? But no. Flag it all. Manny says, will we ever see the algorithm again? Do you want to see the algorithm? Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find this really quick. You guys want to see the algorithm? Let's see if I can find this. I don't even know where it would be on my desktop. I gotta search through here. The algorithm was pretty legit though. Oh man. All right, let's see if I can find the algorithm. Oh man. Look at this. Havoc Renegade came in with the brand new Prime sub. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Over on twitch.tv/stutteringcraig. By the way, if you guys are watching over on YouTube and you guys have Amazon Prime, if you guys have synced it up with your Twitch, like I promise you, nobody's gonna appreciate that more. It's like a free $2.50 you give to me. It's amazing. It'd be amazing. McNackus came in with the $5. Director Nation says, we try to teach compassion, but everywhere we turn, we are told. God, Hayden, that's amazing. Good Lord. McNackus says, we try to teach compassion, but everywhere we turn, we are told to hate those who think differently and believe that they are beyond redemption of hope. That is better to take our own revenge than to let go of hate. Prayers to the family. McNackus. Amazing. Give it up for McNackus, man. McNackus has been around. McNackus actually did the 7th anniversary for Screw Attack, the logo for back then. McNackus, super talented. McNackus, you still doing graphic design? It's amazing stuff. And Hayden came in with the $100 super chat. Good. Hey. Let's freaking go with that. Hayden says, it matched the show. I grew up on Power Rangers and I love it. So I'll watch probably. Oh, DSP thinks it's stupid to give you money. Oops, my thumb slipped. Much love to you, Craig, and to the legend that side scrollers will become. Hayden, legitimately, thank you. That is massive, and I cannot tell you how much I just genuinely appreciate that. That is awesome. McNackus, you're still trucking along. McNackus, send me some examples of your work, man. Maybe we can find a way to work together. That's amazing. God, that's awesome. So Quizno says, just looked up the 7th anniversary logo. It was solid. Yeah. All right, let me see if I can find this. I need to find a find the algorithm. Hold on. Let me see if I can find this. I'm sure I can find it. Mike says, what do you think of a meetup where G2s and you go to Universal in Orlando in 2024 when Super Nintendo World opens? Oh my God, just an idea outside of Vegas. Yes, that sounds awesome. You know, that would be a really good like giveaway, like a big prize where we get to go. Like I'll pay for someone's ticket or something. That'd be so great. Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah. Awesome stuff, man. That's great. But Adam says, hey, Craig, it's getting so much harder to ignore how bad society is giving. I just recently had to seek professional help. It sucks. The state makes it so hard to even get consulted. Wow. And even then, you might not be bad enough mentally to get help from a psychiatrist. It's real bad. Keep your chin up. Wow, Bud, is that true? Holy moly, that's really disheartening to hear. And who's to decide, like, if your mental health is bad enough? Like, what? That's crazy. Like, are you serious? Like, oh, I'm sorry, your mental health isn't bad enough. Kunzite Knight says the James Rolfe guest appearance is tomorrow. What time? So it's gonna be an interview, but it's gonna be a pre-recorded interview, and I'm gonna record it this week, and it'll air next week. I'm not sure if it's gonna air as an episode of Side Scrollers, or if it'll be a standalone thing on the channel. I'm not quite sure yet. We'll see. I want to do the interview first, so, but it will be raw and uncut for sure. So I'm still looking for the algorithm video. It's pretty good, man. Let's see if we can find it. Stuff, man. Trav, have a good night, buddy. We'll see you tomorrow morning. See you tomorrow morning. Let's see. Where is the algorithm? Maybe I just said since yeah, could be pre-recorded. We'll see. Either way, you'll watch it. Good. I'm looking for. Oh, got it. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Where are you? Where are you? Open for me. Here we go. Here we go. Let's check it out. So, okay, little background here. For those who don't know, I did a podcast over the pandemic. By the way, I think we're gonna, I did a podcast with my brother over the pandemic called Weekdays with Craig and Brad. And Weekdays was a really fun show. We had a lot of ridiculous production value attached to it, and it was just. We talked a little bit, we talked about heavy stuff on the show, and some people liked it, some people didn't. It was very divisive at a time when the world was just getting super divisive. We talked about the pandemic a lot. The idea was we didn't want to actually talk about the pandemic a lot, but the pandemic just overtook everybody's lives. So we ended up talking about the pandemic, and we talked about masking, and we talked about just how fucking stupid everything was, and some people didn't like to hear it, and they called us horrible people because of it. Anyways, we had this little bit called the algorithm, where Al Gore would play us some tunes. So I thought that I would share this with you guys, and yeah, well, let me pull this up so you guys can see the algorithm in all its glory. Here we go. There's Al. There he is. We'll just play it. This is so we played this tune when it was a reminder to let everybody know to give a thumbs up to the video and post something down in the comments, which I'll do that right now. Give this episode a thumbs up and post it down in the comments. So let's listen to Al.
I'm Al Gore, the voice of your generation. Young people today, let me ask you this. How can we party? The earth is so big. Can we party? I'm Al Gore, the voice of your generation. Party.
And that pretty much is exactly what we did on Weekdays with Craig and Brad. Hey, give it up for Dennis Brooks, who came in as a brand new patron over at patreon.com/sidescrollers. Dennis, thank you so much. That's awesome. Let's keep it going.
I'm Al Gore, the voice of your generation. Young people today, let me ask you this. How can we party? The earth is so big. Can we party? I'm Al Gore, the voice of your generation. Party.
Boom. Love that. That's good stuff. Thank you, Dennis. Appreciate that. 44K Panda says, "Oh man, I remember a case where the secretary at a psychiatric office decided a guy wasn't, quote, an emergency, so she put him on a waiting list. The dude ended 5 people's lives like 5 minutes after he hung up. What? Oh my God, that's the saddest thing in the world. Like, once again, who the fuck are these people to decide? Well, yeah, you're just not crazy enough. You're just not loony enough. You don't need enough help right now. You're not mentally you're too mentally strong for us to help you. What? By the way, I use the terms loony and crazy endearingly. I don't mean that. Sir Straw Hat says, with 100 bits, says, so today was the last day for the eShop closing down for the 3DS and Wii U. Mini games and DLC are now lost to us. What are your thoughts will happen with the future of game preservation? Yeah, man, that's tough. Luckily, I preserved everything on this beautiful console, Super Console X. If you guys haven't picked one up, you can get it from China. I think there may still be a link down in the description. Maybe not. There used to be a description down below, but yeah, it's tough, man. Like, there's so many great games that are just going to be lost to the digital oblivion, and hopefully, people recognize that there's value to preserving these games, because especially these digital games. I think of, like, there was a series of games that came out on the Wii that were like Castlevania. They're the Rebirth games: Castlevania Rebirth, Contra Rebirth, and Gradius Rebirth. I think there was a couple other ones as well, and they were all really good games. You'll never see them again. Never see them again, ever. My thoughts on it: I hope that the people who develop those games put them in a vault, i.e. a hard drive, and maybe one day, sometime down the line, they just mysteriously end up online. That'd be amazing. Metastep says true. Talking about the mental health side. Says true. Before I had a manic episode and had to be hospitalized 3 years ago, they said I wasn't bad enough to get treatment from a psychiatrist. God, I would have had to get it and pay for it out of my own pocket. That's fucked up, man. Jeez. Yeah, I did see that Gerard downloaded all of them. That's pretty great. I think that's a pretty cool bit. It was like $20,000. It's like, good for him, man. I'm sure that video is doing quite well. Anyways. Oh, Bloody says, apparently the 3DS is very easy to jailbreak. Oh. Was not aware of that. I mean, that's good for Gerard. He'll be the guy that we all need to go over to his house and check like afterwards. Hey, do you have Contra Rebirth for the Wii U? Or whatever, whatever it is. Oh, man. Nick Earl says, hey, look here. Look, listen. I love it here. Yeah. Kaiju says, stop yawning. Well, that means it's time for me to bid adieu tonight. I think that's what it means. It's time for me to say goodnight. I think that's what me yawning a couple times, because I usually just do a quick hour of power here tonight, but you guys have been so wonderful tonight. I wanted to stick around. Like I said, the conversation was really good. Really good, man. Really good. So, yeah, crazy stuff. Harry says, don't leave. Stay another 12 hours. I don't think so. I don't think so. And this stuff says, don't leave. You're a good dude. Well, I try to be. Like I said, and I think that's the wonderful thing about having these conversations is, like, we don't have to agree on things. We don't have to. We don't have to. I love that. And that's been my stance forever. Look, we don't have to agree on things. I think that's the beauty of being an adult and a grown-up, is not putting your ears over your neck. No. The problem is that too many people these days go, no. I don't want to hear it. And the fact that, like, tomorrow morning, Travis and I are going to have a show together after, like, not agreeing on this stuff at all is amazing. And you know what? We're going to leave it at the door. We're just going to talk about stuff. And we can disagree on things. And that's amazing. I can disagree with Lonely Goomba, who comes in and is like, hey, I don't agree with this at all. I love it. I love it. I think that's great. I love that Lonely Goomba is a part of our community. I love it. But guys, thank you very much. Make sure you guys head over to patreon.com/sidescrollers and support the show. Would really appreciate it. Just like Dennis Brooks did tonight. If we can have one of you guys pop over after the show, get your question for James Rolfe as well. I think that'd be really cool. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. He does not do these things like this very often. But I appreciate you guys being here. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. But in the meantime, remember, people are going to try to keep you down. Do not let them. You guys have an awesome night. You guys got them goals? Go get it. See you guys tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central Time. Side Scrollers is going to be a good one. I promise you that. I'm sure there'll be lots to talk about. Good night, guys. Tip of the cap.